The Holy Gospel according to Luke. After this, the Lord appointed 70 others and sent them on ahead of him in pairs to every town and place where he himself intended to go. He said to them, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, ask the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest."
Go on your way. See, I am sending you out like lambs into the midst of wolves. Carry no purse, no bag, no sandals, and greet no one on the road.
Whatever house you enter, first say, "Peace to this house." And if anyone is there who shares in peace, your peace will rest upon that person. But if not, it will return to you. Remain in the same house, eating and drinking whatever they provide, for the laborer deserves to be paid. Do not move about from house to house. Whenever you enter a town and its people welcome you, eat what is set before you, cure the sick who are there, and say to them, "The kingdom of God has come near to you." But whenever you enter a town and they do not welcome you, go out into the streets and say, "Even the dust of your town that clings to our feet we wipe off in protest against you. Yet know this, the kingdom of God has come near. Whoever listens to you listens to me, and whoever rejects you rejects me, and whoever rejects me rejects the one who sent me."
The 70 returned with joy, saying, "Lord, in your name even the demons submit to us." He said to them, "I watched Satan fall from heaven like a flash of lightning. See, I have given you authority to tread on snakes and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing will hurt you. Nevertheless, do not rejoice at this, that the spirits submit to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven." The Gospel of the Lord.
Jesus said, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, ask the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest." During our mission trip to Nashville, our love and labor was needed in countless forms. We come from a congregation plentiful with people and with love. There's no doubt that if something needed to get done at Zion, it would get done, and probably with little hesitation. The community of Nashville needed us to bring that love and support from our congregation to their doors. There, we encountered a pastor, Anthony Thomas, and a church, St. Luke African Methodist Episcopal, who did not have such a bountiful supply of people. Pastor Anthony had a whole 12 people in his congregation, none of which were youth. From us, he needed our labor. Our groups went out a morning at a time in pairs, just like Jesus had sent his disciples out. We went door to door, inviting the community to Pastor Anthony's congregation with door knockers and interaction in the community. Another day, we went to a ministry called Souls for Souls. Their goal is to get shoes to third world countries where most people get around by walking, but where lots of disease and injury spread because people don't have the proper shoes. They needed our help to sort and package these shoes. Have you ever thought about sorting and tying together your matching shoes when you donate them? I know that before this trip, most of us didn't, but spending a whole morning in a warehouse full of mismatched shoes makes you think a little bit. Souls for Souls helps lower economies not only to provide jobs but to create opportunities. At New Jerusalem Church, another small congregation needed our labor to help beautify their property and building, both of which were old and in need of love. For the food insecure population of Nashville, our groups helped to garden and prepare food. Through our time in Nashville, we went to where the Lord intended to go. We stepped away from our comfort zones, faced unfamiliar hardships, and grew in our faith along the way. We were challenged to cross the line and love Nashville and its people, just as Jesus had told us to.
Jesus said, "Go on your way. See, I am sending you out like lambs into the midst of wolves." Jesus told us that following him might be a little scary, and he uses the example of lamb in the midst of wolves. I think one purpose of this trip was to help us conquer our fear. The Lutheran organization who hosted us was called Serve Boldly, and the theme for the week was Cross the Line. We were supposed to serve God boldly by crossing the line to a new city, new people, and facing problems that were new to most of us. There were times when we felt like lamb, and there were times when we felt like wolf. One of the toughest experiences was helping at a summer camp at Mount Carmel Missionary Baptist Church. The camp had about 150 kids, kindergarten through 8th grade, but the church could only provide a few volunteers. We witnessed verbal and physical abuse of children and felt helpless and scared. Our first moment at the camp was walking into a room of about 60 screaming children who had been given nothing to do. And so we did the best we could, whether it be occupying them by making friendship bracelets out of string, teaching some of the older kids tricks to do multiplication, or just sitting there talking and getting to know the kids. The camp organizers had us bring 100 kids to the library, but there was only one teacher there, and she was trying to read a story to 100 kids sitting on a rug. Since we were just sitting there watching this, we decided to volunteer our help. Each of us took 12 kids and found a spot in the library or outside where we could read to them in a smaller group or talk to them. We felt like we could help in a moment, even though we were stressed out and overwhelmed. We know many places we were also seen as wolves. When we served at Pastor Anthony's church, St. Luke's, which was in a poor African American community, we found ourselves judging others simply because of the way they lived or the way they looked. There was probably judgment against us because we were different, but we found when we took the time to talk to the people and hear their stories, we discovered our assumptions about them were wrong. We were invited to pray with these people. They shared their homes and offered water freely to all of us. We found ourselves open to new experiences instead of fearing the worst. In all of our workplaces, we were reminded of our purpose, to serve boldly. We crossed the line even when there was fear of the unknown. We crossed the line even when the heat was more than we expected it to be. We found that by taking risk, we grew and found purpose in our work. We felt God was with us even when we were scared, even when we felt like lambs in the midst of wolves.
Jesus said, "Whatever house you enter, first say, 'Peace to this house,' and if anyone is there who shares in peace, your peace will rest upon that person, but if not, it will return to you." Jesus told his disciples to declare a message of peace to everyone they met. We tried to do that in Nashville, but something strange happened as we did. We met people who declared peace to us and changed us, instead of the other way around. On one of these days, we went to a church to help a man named Pastor Anthony. Now, this pastor had sent us out to distribute door hangers that promoted his church. Before we went out into the neighborhood, while we crowded around him, he said, "You will meet angels today." With those words on our mind, we were sent out into the heat. While we promoted his church, we met a woman named Miss Tammy, who was sitting on her doorstep. This woman was sweet and genuine and kind, and she was so brave. When we told her what we were doing, her face lit up. She opened her heart to us, telling us the story of her faith, how every time a disaster or a problem occurred, her faith was there to save her. Although we were virtually strangers, a group of teenagers and their chaperones, she fostered a love and caring for us and our purpose. She must have noticed our disheveled attire. Being in that blinding sun had made us sweaty. She opened the door to her apartment and said, "Come, get some air conditioning." Now, having a stranger tell you to come into their home made most of us, including me, nervous and apprehensive. The kids from North Carolina, however, did not feel the same fears the rest of us did and stepped right into Miss Tammy's apartment, and soon the rest of us followed. The AC was a miracle, cooling off our skin, and her words gave us new hope to finish what we had started. She welcomed us not only into her home, but also shared the intimate parts of her faith and bore her heart out to us. We met an angel that day. While trying to help those around us, we also found and got the help that we sorely needed. Instead of letting us go out sweaty and tired, Miss Tammy tried to alleviate our discomfort. She gave us a piece of herself to take back with us home, and we gave her a piece of our hearts to be shared.
The 70 returned with joy, saying, Lord, in your name even the demons submit to us. Just like when Jesus' disciples returned from their trip with plentiful joy, we did the exact same. All the youth and the adult guides came back with plentiful amounts of joy from Nashville. Reflecting on every mission trip, going back as far as, say, when we went to Rosebud, South Dakota, Marvel, Arkansas, to Houston last year with the National Youth Gathering, it creates a certain amount of connections between all of us. It creates it's a different kind of environment, and it creates stronger connections. There's a really big difference between hanging out with your friends at school or at lunch or at the park, or even, say, the youth going to Sunday school together, compared to getting to go on these mission trips and getting to really serve with each other and getting to create the connections that you can't really create just anywhere. Ending out this mission trip, this is yet another time where we have fallen in love with the mission work. Yet we tend to find ourselves in a dilemma of trying to find work to do, such as the work we did in Nashville. We look forward to coming back and trying to find work as we had done in Nashville and other past mission trips. We feel like we are just about as joyful as Jesus' disciples coming back from their own trip. So what we were trying to say is we're open for service. We hope and come to find people coming to confront us and saying, youth, we have a service that is needed to be done. Would you be willing to help us? We want to be able to work outside of just the single mission trips and taking it to the streets maybe once a year, and we want to do more work around the church campus, or maybe even be able to go to other church campuses and do the exact same thing, help other campuses grow as we are growing. Moving back to the connections. Yes, I say connections among the youth. We create even stronger connections with the adult guides. On every mission trip, there are a couple adults who volunteer to go on these mission trips with us. Adult guides being such as Jerry Nelson, Gordon, Rachel, and of course, Dan, our youth guide, our youth minister. On these trips, yes, they're with us as adult guides, but at the same time, they do the mission work with us, and they work with us. And we create the exact same, if not even stronger connections with them. It's a really big thing to make with all of them. As we move along, we will continue to talk among the pastors, our parents, and with each other to find more ways to serve with not only Zion, but within the city itself. Because we want to feel the same joy that we have managed to felt in Nashville every year for as long as we may.